Hargreaves, chance for Torquay. Chris Hargreaves, the captain. If he stays onside, Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Benyon. Sells.
Hello, welcome to the latest Gull'S Eye View, brought to you by Galaxy TQ. All four of us are back this week. We've got Dom.
Hello, guys. All right, nice to see all four of us, isn't it?
Nice smile, Dom. We've got Tom.
Evening, guys. You all right?
Yeah, we've got Chris.
I feel like I've been suspended or something the way that you were. But yeah, no. Did you miss me? Yeah. Am I like the Tom Lapsley of the group? Yeah, it's good to be back. Yeah, sorry I missed the last couple of weeks, but yeah, it's got a lot better since I was last on.
Yeah.
There's only so many Chris impersonations we can do and get away with it, isn't it? To all hurrah, that kind of thing. It's a bit old, doesn't it?
I'm here this time, Dom. You can't do it now. You can't do it this time.
You do it instead.
Right, yeah. So we Willstone went into the game. I only went last minute because I was like, oh, go on then. Oh, we're gonna lose, whatever. 5 minutes in, I fumed, and then the whole game I was just pretty angry. I was very sad at the end of the game, even though I know we're down by a miracle. That game hit me because it's different. We'll go into it in a bit. I guess we better start on the Lapsley tackle. Any thoughts?
Well, you felt quite strongly about it, Chris, because you were going on about it all evening, weren't you? So I think you better start off on it.
No, I just think. I thought
you missed me, haven't you? You've missed me.
Yeah. He's gone for me straight away, lads. He's straight in there. No, I think. I've watched it a lot, and I don't know. I mean, it's again. You look at, does it tick the boxes for a red card? Was it excessive force? Probably. Was it over the ball? No. Was it high? No. Did he go to do him? No. But he gave the decision, a referee a decision to make, didn't he? By going in so late. Yeah. I mean, I have no doubt I have no doubt referees talk in between games and stuff. Of course they do, But I think that, and Lapsley's had it coming, let's be honest, the way he behaves, the way he goes on at referees. But that referee came for Lapsley and Jarvis. Because, they were pushing and pulling and grabbing and yanking Jarvis off the ball, and he didn't get anything the whole game. So the question I would ask is, if that was Dawson, would he have sent him off? I'm not convinced. But
I thought Dawson's tackle was worse when I first saw it, and then looking back now,
Yeah, I think it was he gave the decision, the referee decision to make, didn't he? Is it a red card in the first 5 minutes of a game? I really don't know.
I think we're hoping the first 5 minutes, he says, where it's early.
I think the thing that did me, I 100% agree with the fact that Lapsley had it coming, and I don't blame the ref as much as you do in the moment because you're a fan. But what did me was the fact that sometimes they were so refs just see the thing, process it for 5-10 seconds. But he was so quick. As soon as he saw it, was like, it's a red. He didn't even think about consequences of anything. It was just so like that. And then just stuff like they were handballing it in the box. He gave a free kick, no card. We saw Ruben Rodriguez get second yellow for it the other day. And then kind of just the ref was appalling after that. It was just, Jarvis was getting pushed all over. It's just no protection. I hate when just tall players or just like big physical players have no protection up front. Does my head in. But yeah, no, he just slapped at it coming in. What was that, a 3 game? Was it kind of serious foul play?
Isn't it? Yeah. He's been throwing himself into challenges for weeks now, isn't he? It's frustration at the situation. He wants to be the man to sort things out. He wants to get stuck in. It looked like a red to me straight away, but it was borderline, wasn't it, Chris? As you say, he could have got away with it.
I also think
he paid the price, didn't he?
It showed the fractions. It showed the fractions as well, doesn't it, in timing when it comes to tackles like that. In that, if you think, presumably in his head, it broke loose. He went in, he thundered the ball. All the crowd went, come on! And it was all kind of, early tackle, getting amongst him and all of that. And and if he'd been a couple of seconds earlier, that's exactly what it would have been. But the problem was when you miss the ball, that's when it then becomes problematic, doesn't it? But yeah, I don't. Again, that's not how games are refereed. Do I want to go and watch games of football and see people sent off for tackles like that? No. Because it wasn't high, it wasn't dangerous, it wasn't over the ball. Like, for example, the Casemiro one at the weekend that got overturned on VAR, that's dangerous. You can break people's legs doing that. Can you hurt people doing what Lapsley did? Maybe if you're unlucky, but the bloke jumped up as soon as he got sent off and was fine, wasn't he? So, yeah, I see both sides of that one, to be honest. And in a game that was important for us.
Some of it comes back to the manager to tell him to calm down as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he's obviously wound up for the game, isn't he? And it's an accident waiting to happen. It's an accident waiting to happen. That's the trouble. That's 7 red cards for the season now, and that's
shocking.
And those red cards have cost us. You got the Dorking one. And there's been others.
Shocking.
Right, Dom. Let's have a trivia. Help me here, because when I read your article, I was walking to work yesterday, trying to think about all of the 7, and I could only get to 6. I got
in all competitions,
Marshall's
isn't
it? Yeah. Marshall's had 2.
De Silva had that.
Marshall's had 2. That's what I
Marshall
couldn't get.
Mm.
I got Lapsley, I got Marshall, I got Jarvis, I got Evans, and I got De Silva. It was Marshall's second one.
Crow was sent off.
Crow, yes, Crow. Yeah, that was.
And Hansen should have been sent off in pre-season. He had quite good sparks. Starts as he needs to go on.
Our reputation.
That's poor, isn't it? I mean, we don't usually get more than 2 or 3 in the season, do we? So 7 is just ridiculous.
And if you're good, you kind of go all hard, man. But if you're very bad and getting ill-disciplined, you're like,
this isn't clever play, is it? This is sloppy decision making, and
But again, it's like Chris. It's like what Chris said at the start. These referees, and they all talk to one another. You look at the stats, and somehow we've got one of the worst disciplinary record in the league. That's going to have an effect surely on referee making decisions. I mean, I wasn't there. I can only verify on the highlights.
And that's not the Torquay way. We're not a team.
But we're not a dirty team either, are we? We're just a stupid team.
Yeah.
And of course,
go on, Chris.
I was going to say, and the irony is for a team that, in a footballing sense, really has had a bit of a soft underbelly all year.
Yeah,
we've had our tummy tickled and rolled over in loads of games, and Saturday's probably an example. Sucker punch of how you can lose a game, and it's not a team of Guy Branston's. This is it. This is a team of of real shrinking violets at times. But to have, I mean, again, I agree with what Tom was just saying. And I think to a certain degree, it's referees coming for us. Of course, it is. I mean, that Evans dismissal was ridiculous. To get sent off for those 2 tackles at Dawkins, ridiculous. But again. Some reputations. We got the most yellows in the league still, Tom. I think, is that right? I think
so from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Tom's been bickering at the refs for weeks as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, Tom, sort yourself out, mate.
Well, this Tom.
that Tom as well.
But it's just a shame because that was a game we should have got something out of Wealdstone. They're doing really well, and they seem to be a very well organised bunch of group of lads, and part-time lads, but they're only a couple of points off the playoffs. Who would have thought beginning of the season would be like, we're gonna see Wealdstone playing us for a spot in the playoffs. You just wouldn't have thought it.
No, I'm thinking of Woking. No,
Wealdstone are part-time. No, I think the frustration on Saturday, Tom, I would say, is that in the first half we should have been behind before the red card. Really,
we were just holding on first half, Chris, weren't we?
We were. I mean, if we'd been 4-0 down at half time, you couldn't have argued. But come the end of the game, tactically we reshaped at half time. They shut the space. There was too much space in the first half. They were just popping passes all around us, and we couldn't get near them. But they shut the space down at half time. Got Falahunti out wide, who worked hard, and they shut the. So they'd run out of ideas really. Obviously, when we scored early, it helped, but it wasn't like Halstead had. They had the one chance that Halstead saved. Other than that, it wasn't. You wouldn't say it was coming. But unfortunately, as you see, all it takes is 1 second. Donnellan held the space rather than tracking the run. Bang, done, and it's in the split second, and you've lost it.
And we never looked like scoring apart from Evans, did we? We had a few shots. We had that last minute scramble, didn't we?
How did that not go in? I mean, come on.
When your luck's down, when you're at the bottom, nothing goes for you.
Yeah, but that was a very good goal by Evans, wasn't it? To give him his credit, he was going away from goal. I never expected it to go in, but he kind of ghosted it over the last defender, and he has been one of our better players in recent weeks. It's still not been great, but he's one of the few that looks like doing something at all, doesn't he?
It was really hard to follow the game though on the radio. It was just like the Wealdstone's goal. Oh, he's offside. Surely he's miles offside.
Yeah, I heard him out of bias on the commentary.
He's the only one that thought that.
Nowhere near. It's from the radio. It kind of made out that we deserved to get something from the game, but from what I've heard from you guys and everyone else, it seems like we were fortunate to keep it to.
Well, the first goal, Marshall made it too easy on him, really, because he didn't have any overlap. but he let the guy come in on his right foot, whereas he could have stopped the shot there.
Yeah.
Another ball that's come in from a flank there, hasn't it? It's come across. It's been worked across from a flank again. Somebody hasn't stopped it at source again, and it's just they're just the same. They're two identical goals.
Many saves as well.
Yeah. But they're all the same, aren't they? You look at the goal Southend scored. There were balls popped around the edge of the box where they were too quick for us. The first goal, second goal was on the break. The goals that Bromley scored, sure, second one was a penalty. The first one, a ball where they've moved it around us. Both goals, they were just moving the ball around us.
I think our concentration wanes partly because of our lack of fitness. I mean, if you looked at the team on Saturday, I mean, we might have had 10 men after 7 minutes, but we were blowing hard after 30. I mean, a lot of them were struggling along. Marshall was absolutely knackered by the second half because he was playing right back. There's just no core fitness about these guys.
Story of the season.
And I think eventually that pays because they haven't got the legs to keep on doing it until the end of the game. And another late goal. I mean, Wealdstone made a right meal of actually trying to play football in the second half. They were, I don't know if they were nervous because of the situation or they got a bit, lethargic at half time, but they kept on trying to do some silly touches and try to be skillful rather than just play football.
Like they weren't great. Like,
no,
this is a thing. They're not great. I have nothing against Wealdstone at all. They're doing brilliantly as a club. But like we're getting relegated from this league. And the one time we actually tried to pass it in there, we actually did all right. But there's just no passing on the lads. All they do is make the same stupid. I can sit here, just watch the same stupid patterns of play. Get the ball, Donovan will have it. There's 2 men in the centre, and he'll just lump it down the line. What does that achieve?
What do they teach these people? Because it's almost like he's got tunnel vision. He'll play the same pass. He'll play the same pass, whether there's a guy there or not. He doesn't look left or right.
It's just painful.
What are they training these people to do?
They're like professional footballers. Honestly, any man can go get a bit of shape, get a bit of this passing going, and they might. It's too late now. I mean, you have to. Oh, it's too late now. But just do something to get excited about.
Pass and move, get out wide. I mean,
it's not a hard game. They make it so
that
difficult,
should it?
I'm sure they're not. I know they're a bad team, but they're not this bad. They're not this bad. No one's this bad. I mean, and there's no lack of fight at all. Social absolutely. But there's no lack of fight, and that's the hard thing.
I think that's what makes it more painful. Yeah, you're right. If you look at the reaction of the players, like it was Jarvis and Halstead that I saw particularly. When that second goal went in, they were down. They were on the floor for almost a minute. Just hunched over in a ball.
There was a total lack of fight.
These aren't circus lads, are they? They go into tackles. They try pretty much every game. They do want to do well.
You can't accuse them of not trying. You can't. That's the one thing you can't accuse them of.
Such a lack of skill and intelligence around the pitch that it just hurts us so often. It really is painful.
It doesn't help when you have dicks like Corey Andrews causing problems. And at least Marshall would have got sent off a third time if they'd let him go for him at full time like he was trying to. At least somebody had the sense to get in the way. It was going to knock him out, I think. But all that stuff's just.
We almost gave him a goal, didn't we, when Nico left it for Holston?
I'll be honest with you, that game was kind of like, I don't know, for me, with Andrews, it was like at the end that he was a bit crappy at the end, but it was an interesting one actually because I stood in the pop side and he kind of like, he looks, fitter and sharper for a start. And I thought he was looking okay in the first half with him. And like, I thought Corey Andrews was going to be very good for us. I have such high hopes for us. And especially in the first few games, I wouldn't call him a lazy player. He just couldn't score. The amount of chances he missed at the start. Anyway, so obviously there's a moment in the second half where it was like 1-1 and he's been a bit lazy and not got a ball because he's, why would you? And the Torquay fans start getting a bit of stick. That's what happens. And he's almost kind of downplayed it. He's gone, all right, sorry. Like he's almost gone a bit like that. And he's almost like saying that, I tried my best. I'm not very good. Whatever. And then as soon as that, and then the next 20 minutes kind of summed up probably why Corey Andrews' career hasn't, as of yet, taken off like the potential they thought he would in his career. Because a lot of players will go, fine, I'm going to score 3 now. And he kind of slumped back into that kind of sulky kind of way.
He's a sulky kind of player, isn't he?
And sometimes that can work, but he kind of slumped back into that sort of Corey Andrews that we had at Torquay. And like Nico's given an open goal, him and Alston haven't talked. He's through on goal, and he's just like Alston's done one of his hit a tame shot. And there's two other chances. Like if he was a bit sharper and quicker in the mind, because he can never read anything, he could have had a hat trick within 10 minutes. And of course, he's standing in front of Alstead, and Alstead's just gone bang, and it's hit him in the head, and he's gone off, and it's quite embarrassing. It was, you know, it was kind of like,
yeah,
it's an interesting those 10 minutes where a lot of players was turning around, scored, and then celebrating in front of Playmore. And you think, all right, you know, he's got stick, look, celebrating it, yeah, not my kind of thing. I wouldn't. In other situations, I can never moan at players for doing it because it's like we love it when our players do that. If he was in a Torquay shirt doing that to other fans, would go, "Oh, what shit? Yeah." When Lapsley does it and all that. I mean, there's the two things that I would point out though. One, I wouldn't be cheering to fans of a team that I've just scored 0 and 12 goals for, 0 goals in 12 games for. And then when Ross Marshall's come in, don't run away. He kind of just went. He was like shocked someone had confronted him. It looked like from what I saw, but
yeah. To be honest, all of the football stuff I've got no really concern with really, because football is what it is. Players come and go. They're good. They're not good. Whatever. I mean, and then ex-players come back and play against you. It's the way it is. What I had an issue with is just a real lack of class, if you like, just total disrespect he showed when I was in the Bristow's bench with my children at the game, and when he went over, you know, he was getting a bit of stick from me. But I have to say, nothing major, to be honest.
I gave him a few sharp remarks when he came off, Chris.
He started doing this and all of that, and it's just so and he was, you know, jumped off the bench at full time and all of this stuff. And bearing in mind, when we signed him, we didn't sign him for money. He didn't have a club. So all that kind of disrespect, I just couldn't do without. That kind of stuff, just pathetic. And then of course at full time, he then obviously tried to shove it in our players' face, didn't he? And let's be honest, he is one of the factors why we are where we are.
Exactly. Yeah,
that's signed him. He was crap.
That's when I lost respect, when he went really for it.
And all that stuff's just unnecessary and just pretty disrespectful to us.
Over celebrating, going to your fans a bit, and it's like, look, if you had scored 6 goals in 12, and then for whatever reason you hated our fans, whatever, but like. Nah, I just want to gloat about it.
I just don't care about him enough to worry about that. Really,
really, Tom? Really?
I'm past him. Once he's left Torquay, he's not my business, Chris. He's got a new team. He celebrates for his new team.
I'm just kind of frustrated, really, because I had such high hopes for him. And
I think the thing is, Sam, that he showed on Saturday, he's got really good instincts.
I saw it. We saw it in our short days.
He plays off the last man, and he's pretty good at getting in good positions. And that's why I hoped he was going to bring it Torquay.
Him and Jarvis should have been a very good
partnership. He showed a little bit of that, didn't he, start the season? You think, right, if he gets fit, we'll have a player here. And
pre-season as well, I thought he looked okay at times.
I think a combination of injuries and lifestyle meant it just never happened, did it?
Maybe it's just like, it just shows when you move to Torquay, it's kind of like.
But he was meant to be the marquee signing, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
He's the sort of guy that needs a lot of love and, you know, praise
to
get
a confidence player. Such a
confidence. He probably needs friends around him, and he needs to feel the love, doesn't he? And he wasn't getting that down here, I guess.
He's not the first Torquay player to come and not perform and go somewhere else and do well, and he won't be the last. So it
happens so much of the geography of it.
But yeah, I've got to be honest. He's a Wealdstone player now.
Yeah, it's not that it bothers me. I find it, you know, I just found it, the whole psychology of it and kind of how football fans deal with it.
It is bothering you. You're brushing your fringe. I can always tell.
You'll tell, Sam.
It was an interesting one. I just kind of was like, once he had sort of had the stick, I was expecting him to go and score 3, and then he's missed 3 pretty easy chances, or 1 easy chance.
I got it off my chest when he came off as sub. I gave him a few sharp remarks then.
Anyway, he won't do it again because he sent out a celebratory "what a win" tweet. So I gave him I was sarcastic back and then unfollowed him. So that showed him, hasn't it? He won't do it again, will he?
Good job.
Yeah, well, it's just another nail in a pretty humiliating time.
How bad a run of games can you get where you keep conceding last 5-10 minutes and lose games? Oh my God, it's just, how much pain can we suffer this season?
But that was our thing like 20, 30 years ago? We'd always get to the 90th minute and then just let the opposition win it.
We'd kind of got out of the habit of doing that, haven't we?
This season, it's just come back. Gary Johnson in the 90th minute.
What happened to Gary time? It's all just.
Gary time is 2-1 in the last 5 minutes.
It's all in Gary's goal time now, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it's not winning goal. Just Donovan, what are you doing, mate? You've given a shift and then you've just let your man. And Asa Hall, we come on, he looked all right, and then
I have to say I do feel sorry for Donnellan, because I think he's been one of our better players. He gives it all. He gives it his all. He gets forward. He's up and at it. He's in there. He's in the opposition's face more than a lot of them are. But there are certain times I think he's been solid overall. But there are certain times where there's been like the Southend goal. You'd question whether he could have done more.
He looks tired recently, Chris, doesn't he? Saturday, Tuesday's catching up with these guys, isn't it?
It is when you think he couldn't keep fit for the first 10 games, and he's not missed a minute for 30 games, give or take.
This has been the crunch, isn't it? Can you do anything Saturday to Tuesday, week in, week out? And we've failed, haven't we? Failed again and again. Even the cat agrees with me.
Yeah. Black cat, that must be bad news, lit.
Oh God! I don't think we can get any. I don't think we can.
No one run over it though. It's my cat.
Yeah, no, it is interesting. I'm gonna say a positive. One positive, right? Kevin Dawson. I really like that lad. You could tell, obviously he hasn't played football well, but what a player he.
Why didn't we sign him last summer? I mean, surely he'd have come, wouldn't he?
Wages. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. I must admit, I did say to my dad.
Gloucester. I mean, they can't be paying more than we can manage, surely.
They're full time though, Gloucester, aren't they? Pretty sure they are. I might have made that up. They had all the money that they had pumped into them when Mans came in, didn't he? I think I might be wrong. I'll check that. There was talk of Danny Wright going there, wasn't there? But I might have made that up. If I have, I apologise.
But yeah, no, I would literally get him that season 100%. Like, just put him in midfield starting. Honestly, so
I've never seen a player eat so many. Turn the light out on me.
Someone turn the lights out. There goes all kinds going.
We've got it all. We got it all tonight.
But yeah, I have to say, I shouldn't say things like this, but I did say to my dad at one point he'd be good in midfield next season.
Yeah, no, I'd literally
solid in.
Captaincy.
Were we not in this league?
I mean, I've National League or South. I've actually put him starting next season. He just actually.
He must have eaten about 6 energy bars in the second half.
I mean, he's done more than half of our midfield's done. Into what has he played 2 games? He's won tackles. He
lasted well as well, didn't he? Considering
he's a good leader on the pitch as well.
And you can see him at times going, "What am I playing with?" Like he put a brilliant ball through, and he just Evans didn't quite get to it, and it was just fuming. You'd think he'd been there for 6 years, where he's geeing everyone up, geeing the crowd up. It's just,
that's what you need, isn't it? Some people barking at other players to get them going. That's what you want.
Yeah.
It's the sort of player you wanted to come in January. Give the push for the second half of the season. I just think it's a bit too little, too late. I'm afraid.
And we signed someone today. It's a little too late, but might as well have a look.
It's poor planning, isn't it? Asa Hall was always going to go out at some point. We didn't have anybody step in, do we? De Silva was going to leave. Didn't have anybody to step in then. So you just, it's just.
And yeah,
that's got to be linked to Collins, though. Has to be.
Yeah.
But then you look at all the other clubs around us. They're constantly bringing players in, for the final push, and we just seem to be just content with going down. Yeah.
Whatever you've got left. Nothing, isn't it? We'll get a player in if one goes out, but there's no extra quality coming in. Just.
No,
just feels like we've been about 4, 5, 6. We've been 4, 5, 6 players short all season, and we've just not been able to.
Only thing I'd say about this lad who's coming today, Tom, is that it's not a kid from a championship club, is it? It's somebody who, admittedly, looking very briefly on, obviously the factual forum that is Twitter, that that there seems to be a bit of a mixed bag about him, but he's a lad who knows the league. He's played in the league. He's played games in the league. Yeah, he's 26. Did I read? So a bit more to him. Well, I mean, I suspect it's all too late, but hopefully he could be with a view to next year, maybe.
It's asking a lot for one player to improve the squad, though.
And he's not forward, is he?
No, but then I suppose Dawson made a difference to some regard, did he, on Saturday? So
yeah, absolutely. No. Yeah, absolutely.
If we actually had 11 men, he could have been a totally different game. But anything else in this first part? Yellow Army responses. It was quite an interesting one, I thought.
What was the mood like? What was the atmosphere like on Saturday?
The atmosphere was very good
because the fans were really good. The fans were really behind them. Like every time it was a goal kick, like they'd be cheering up, and Marshall would be bouncing back to him, and kind of like they were kind of
almost like hating the ref, kind of sugar-coated the game a little bit.
Yeah, and then there was a brief Gary Johnson out when the second goal went in, and a very brief shut the fuck up. So
I thought it felt a bit resigned. The atmosphere felt a bit resigned. There was there was a bit of singing pre-match, but I can give you some good news because as we're recording this on Tuesday evening, I can tell you that Scunthorpe have just gone behind at Solihull Moors, which is exciting.
Yes, great. Can't wait to see them. Can't wait to see them in the Vanarama South next season. No way. Honestly, though, I'm just looking at who's coming down with us. So I was like, you don't want Dorking.
They'll be in the north, Tom, I should imagine.
That's what I'm saying. We don't want Dorking and Yeovil down.
I made an apology this week because I snapped at the ex-Supporters Trust chairman because he was clapping them off on the way out of Bristol. I was giving him a bit of like, what are you doing that for? We're getting relegated, that sort of thing. Me and Rich were particularly pissed off at that point.
I was sat. I didn't speak for like half.
There was such a long ripple. It wasn't just a short applause. It was quite a long ripple, like we were at some kind of funeral. It was a long ripple of support and supporters clapping, and it just went on and on.
We had this discussion on Saturday, Dom, didn't we? We had this discussion, didn't we? And actually,
I didn't say it was all wrong, Chris. I think I was just surprised at how long the clapping went on for.
Yeah,
it wasn't just a brief. Well done. It was constant.
I think I was more annoyed at Downs having to take all the abuse again. Because from the Bristow's bench, you see it all so much closer, don't you? And I watched Shaw Johnson shake hands with all their staff and just disappear, walk off down the tunnel, and then Downs went and clapped and stayed clapping, didn't he? For a good period of time to thank the supporters and just took a trolley load of abuse again. So, which is wrong. It's
that fine balance, isn't it? Of clapping for they put an effort in. To play for the most of the game with 10 men. But also for me, on the flip side, we've got 10 games left. We're in the bottom 4. It's looking quite hopeless now. I still maintain that we are a bit soft as a fan base. And I'm sure we'll come on to it more in the second episode. But we're getting relegated into National League South.
We're just on one of the worst runs of form, considering our position in our history. It's not like it's
7 wins in 36.
Is it, Tom?
7 wins all season in the 5th tier.
Time in 5 years. 5 years.
Wealdstone are 3 points or whatever off the playoffs. Tiny club compared to us, really. And again, not discrediting Wealdstone. Again, if they do make the playoffs, I kind of hope they make it all the way. To be honest, that's a proper underdog story. Forget this Wrexham and all that. But
imagine Wilson beating Notts County in the playoffs.
Imagine Corey Andrews scoring it with Carl Cameron on the floor. That'd be an interesting one. Yellow arm.
But
it'll become a bit more popular.
Again, it just feels the whole club just seems accepting that we're going to be in the National League South and everything will be okay because it's Torquay United and we'll be fine in the National League South because we won it when we were in there. But
I wouldn't want to support. I want to go to supporters too much because they keep turning up. They keep supporting the club this season, and they've given the team.
Torquay United.
They could have done so.
Torquay United in the National League South is a disgrace.
It's like Leeds, Forest, Leicester when they're in League One or other clubs. Yeah, it should never, ever, ever happen.
But we deserve to be relegated this season. Whatever happens, we deserve to go down.
How bad? Oh, I've seen how bad Maidstone were. We beat them, but how bad are them teams? Because we're absolute.
Oh, hang on, Scunthorpe are at our heels. We might.
It's beyond whatever.
They might turn it.
Are we going to end up with less points in the Euro season? I mean, this is not a discussion.
How many points did we get in the Euro season?
40 odd, wasn't it?
42.
We actually improved a bit.
40, yeah.
Well, we didn't.
4 wins from now. Have to silence you three. Jeepers! I wish I'd worked that out earlier this season.
It's just hard to see where a win's coming from.
I think that's the trouble, Tom. You go into every game at the moment, you think, "Oh God," you get that feeling, don't you, Chris, at the minute? And even you're really positive, aren't you? You can feel a loss coming, can't you?
Yeah,
you really can.
So that's why I just when the red card happened, I think I may have, because I wasn't particularly close to being over the other side, but I couldn't help just have a wry smile because you just thought. Because you didn't, you always have hope. As a football fan, you always have hope. You always have hope because whenever you turn up to see your team win, and it might be a day, mightn't it? But when I couldn't help but just go, and you had to kind of because it's all so hard and so so disappointing that then after 5 minutes of that, especially when I got my 2 young boys, you look forward to it all week, and after 5 minutes, you're just like, oh God, not again.
If there's a way to lose a game, we'll find it, lads. We will find it.
Look on the bright side, lads. At least none of us are making a long trip north to Gateshead this weekend.
You'd have to be really silly for that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's the way to end the part, Sam.
Yeah, you're silly for supporting your club, you fans. Right. Thank you for watching part 1.
I've got my stats to read out.
Oh, we have to do that in part 2, Dom.
Stats for part
2. Part 2 gets exciting. Dom's got some stats, and then we're going to keep being as
God's going to make him come back, isn't it? Gracious.
You're selling it well, Sam. You're selling this well.
Stats, second half.
Here's Hargreaves, chance for Torquay. Chris Hargreaves, the captain. If he stays onside, Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Banyan. Sells.